Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 4, Text 12. Kangshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha shipram hi bhavati loke siddhim bhavati karmaja siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world, translation, men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Purport, Srila Prabhupada's purport, there is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world, and men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one and the parts and parcels are many. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam, God is one. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. The Supreme God is one, Krishna. And the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist, or Pashandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva, Shiva Varinti Nutam. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Iha Devataha denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental material creation. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayana or Krishna is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people, Drita Jnana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but do not know that results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Krishna consciousness, and he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigods of this material world, as well as their worshippers, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The boons of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as the material opulences of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore kowtowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons, and they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. They are all after sense enjoyment, and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worship empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. I saw the advertisement for this. The flyer that was given for this lecture, where the line was emphasized, Siddhya Bhavati Karmaja. That's the motto of IIT, is it? I thought I saw that on the wall somewhere. So this is that IIT has adopted Siddhya Bhavati Karmaja as its motto, serves as a good lesson of how Bhagavad-gita should be properly understood, because their adopting it is adopting a misunderstanding. They have adopted this to give the idea that work like an ass and you'll achieve siddhi, you'll achieve perfection. However, what is to be understood from this? That how Bhagavad-gita is to be understood. First of all, one should be sincere to understand. And one should hear an explanation from a bona fide acharya. Maybe they got this understanding from Lokmanya Tilak, who did his commentary on Bhagavad-gita. Lokmanya, they adopted his name. Otherwise, his name was Gangadhar. What is it? Something like that. Gangadhar, something like that. So they gave him the name Lokmanya because foolish people like himself, they considered him a respectable person. So he gave his interpretation of Bhagavad-gita that Bhagavad-gita means just do work. Work. And then Vivekananda came along and said, well, don't even bother to read Bhagavad-gita, just play football and get a strong body. And Nehru came along and said that the temples of modern India will be the factories, and so many bogus ideas came out. Gandhi also, so-called Mahatma Gandhi, came out understanding that if you want to mobilize the Indian people at that time, you have to offer something spiritual. So he prisoned as spiritual the so-called independence movement of India, although it's got nothing to do with anything spiritual. It's just some political adjustment. But he made a pose of being spiritual, giving the Bhagavad-gita, to attain some material end. So here in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna is not recommending just work like an animal, because that's not spiritual instruction. Spiritual instruction means to go beyond. Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha samana metat pashubhya naranam. Human beings and animals have in common eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesham dharmena hina pashubhya naranam. The special quality of the human being is the ability to practice dharma, failing which he is not a human being, he's simply an animal. So if you say that human beings should simply work hard and get money and build a house, and which are all animalistic propensities, and that's not dharma. That may be called karma, but that here when Krishna says, when he refers to karma siddhi, that doesn't exactly mean just working hard like an ass. Everything should be understood in context. Now here it says, siddhir bhavati karmaja, that one achieves success by work. But which kind of success? Here it said, karmanam siddhi. That means success in fruitive activities. That is karma siddhi. That doesn't mean the param siddhi. Here it specifically said karma siddhi. This is not the ultimate teaching of Bhagavad-gita, that you get karma siddhi. Because Krishna goes on to explain in Bhagavad-gita that everything in this material world has two specific characteristics, namely, dukhalayama shashvatam. This material world is full of miseries, and everything here is temporary. So even if you attain karma siddhi, you won't attain happiness, because this material world is by nature miserable. And we practically see that. All the great scions of business in India, Tatas, Hindujas, and Birlas, but they're not happy. They're not achieving spiritual bliss. They're simply working harder than most people. Work generates more work. Siddhi bhavati, karma bhavati karmaja. You could also say that work, especially in the modern age, how work is, the whole society is set up that they think that by making more and more technological innovations, it should make life more convenient for everyone. Just like you have your washing machine and everything's machined. So if you have a washing machine, it saves you the problem of going out and thrashing the cloth on a stone or paying someone else to do it. So you should think that if you have all these modern conveniences, then there's no work to do. It's just the opposite. To get the convenience of having a washing machine and all the other mod cons, you have to work like a mad con. You're con. And you're into working like a madman all day and night. And this is considered success. In my home I have air conditioning, washing machine, so many different things. To have all these conveniences in your home, you're never in your home. You're always out working like an animal. Someone was telling me that they visited the home of some rich people, and they found stretched out on the sofa watching the TV, not the owners of the house. They were out, the servants. They were enjoying. They were enjoying, and And that the owners, they were out working while the servants were lying on the sofa and surfing the different channels like this. They were enjoying. And the people are so stupid, they're out working hard, so their servants can enjoy it, actually. They don't have time. So, here it's mentioned, the first first point is when Krishna says, when he speaks about siddhi, that's not param siddhi. It's not the topmost perfection of life. That means to attain some material benefit. The second point is that it's got nothing to do with IIT. It's specifically mentioning the karma kanda section of the Vedas, which should be followed, in which is an important part is yajanta iha devataha, living in this world, worshipping the demigods and achieving material success in that way. Not by getting some job in some software company and working 18 hours a day minimum. This is not what Krishna is discussing. This is specifically talking about following the karma kanda section of the Vedas and worshipping the demigods, by which Shipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja, that you will get, Krishna says, if you worship the demigods, you will get results quickly. But you will get the result means siddhi. The demigods will bless you. You will. You'll get saved. But then later on in the Gita, Krishna says, Antavattu palang tesham tad bhavatyalpametasam. Those who worship demigods, whatever result you get it quickly and you lose it quickly also. Because that is the nature of this material world. Easy come, easy go. You get it quickly, you get the results, just like dhanam dehi, rupavati bharya dehi, you get money, a beautiful wife, so many things you can get by work. You can get it, but you can't keep it. It won't stay. Therefore, Krishna says, anyone who's interested in such results, they are fools. Alpametasa. If you know Alpa Sanskritam, you can understand that Alpametasa means little intelligence. So it's not, Krishna here he's not recommending this. They've put it as the motto of IIT, but this is condemned. Krishna is condemning this in Bhagavad-gita. That you even attempt for such a result. That is not the ultimate result of life, to get material facilities. Not that Krishna says to give up all work, but Krishna says you have to work in a detached spirit. Not that you think, I'll work and I'll get siddhi. Siddhi means money. This is the idea in modern life. You work hard and you get money, and money brings not only washing machines and air conditioners and all these kind of things, but more important is prestige. I will get the prestige. I will be earning 1 lakh a month. I'll work my way up the corporate ladder and I'll be earning so much money. So this is considered karma siddhi. How much is your siddhi per month? It's measurable in terms of rupees. But this very process which they're advertising as if it's something, IIT is a spiritual institution because they're put as the motto, Siddhya Bhavati Karmaja. But here Krishna is not recommending this. He's mentioning it, but that doesn't mean he recommends it. Just like you see, I don't know here, but in the Western countries, they used to have eminent fools come on TV and speak. But the foolish people that are lauded by foolish youngsters, just like rock stars, they would have them come on TV and say, drugs, very bad. Not many of them, because most of them take drugs, but some of them, they would come and say, drugs are very bad. So they'd come on TV, but the idea is to influence the young people not to take drugs. So, if you think some big famous rock star, I don't know who the modern famous rock stars are, they come and go. Someone's big for some time and then they get forgotten. Michael Jackson was very big. Now I think he's on the way. I don't know, but you don't hear so much about him. So, if Michael Jackson comes on TV and says that, well, drugs are bad, then you can say, even Michael Jackson's coming on TV talking about drugs. If you take it the other way, oh, Michael Jackson coming on TV, oh my God, it must be good. He's saying it's bad, but you're taking it the other way. Why? Because you're insincere. So here, you see, in Bhagavad-gita, Krishna is saying that what is all this worshipping the demigods, getting fruitive results? It's all useless. But if you take it out of context, you say, oh, see, Bhagavad-gita, you get results from work, you get perfection. The word siddhi also means perfection. Here it means results, success. But if you misinterpret due to insincerity, then you won't get the actual message of Bhagavad-gita, and you won't get the benefit of reading Bhagavad-gita. So like this, many people, they like to fool themselves and others that actually we're very spiritual and we're following Bhagavad-gita, although it's got absolutely nothing to do with Bhagavad-gita. It's just like I said, this Tilak's commentary on Gita, and Gandhi, he wrote in his biography, autobiography, Experiments with Truth, as if truth is something to be experimented with. But I do not believe that any such person as Krishna ever existed. In other words, he's a complete atheist. And he's famous for holding his Gita meetings every night, one of which he was shot dead at. So, hearing Bhagavad-gita from such people, that will not help us. If we think, I'm working very hard, this is spiritual. But working hard is not in and of itself spiritual. Otherwise, the ox, they put them in front of the plow and he pulls the plow. So then he would be the greatest spiritualist. Or Vivekananda says, you have to get a strong body. Nayam bala pravachanena labhyo. That without strength, in Shastra it said that without strength, you cannot understand the absolute truth. So that means spiritual strength. But he is saying that you have to get a strong body and you have to be physically fit. Of course, we're not saying you shouldn't be physically fit. But if that's the understanding, then the ox, he should be the most spiritually advanced. It's a foolish misinterpretation by envious people who have no interest actually in what Krishna says. In Kali Yuga there are many such people. We're now in the temple in Srinagar, we're reading from the Bhagavatam the story of Arishtasura, the bull demon who came to attack Vrindavan. So he is the representative of cheating religion. There are many such cheaters in the name of proposing that we are teaching something religious, which is actually, what they teach is opposed to the actual principle of religion, which is surrender to Krishna, which Krishna states at the end of Bhagavad-gita, Sarva dhamman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That religion means to give up all concocted ideas of religion and just surrender to Krishna. That's why the Srimad Bhagavatam begins where Krishna finishes his teaching in Bhagavad-gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam begins by saying, Dharma projata kaitava atra. In this Srimad Bhagavatam, from the very beginning, cheating religion is rejected. Of course, that's also rejected in Bhagavad-gita. Krishna discusses karma yoga, jnana yoga. He discusses all these different points, but then he establishes very clearly that yoginam api sarvesham madgatenam taratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samayuktatama mataha. That of all types of yoga, of all types of yogis, the bhakti yogi, one who is worshipping me in faith, he is the best of all. And bhaktya mam avijanati, I can be understood only through bhakti. Krishna never says that kamya mam avijanati. He never says I can be understood simply by working. He says, mat karma krit, mat paramo. You work for me, understanding me to be supreme. That kind of work is wanted. But simply to work, that is not at all the perfection of life. We should understand the difference. Another thing these envious people say, actually envious, they're envious of Krishna, that's why they misinterpret what Krishna has said. They say that work is worship, or manava seva is madhava seva. So work is work, not that all work is worship, but work that's specifically done for the pleasure of Krishna, that is worship. But we should also do puja. It's not. Otherwise, why there are different words? Karma means one thing, And puja, there's another word in Shastra, in Sanskrit language. Karma is one word, puja is another. So, puja has a specific meaning. Puja it's required to be done. It's not that you simply work. But we should also do puja, japa, all these different things. Sadhana is required. And that karma, that should be offered in the service of Krishna. Not that if we say Manava Seva is Madhava, work is worship, Manava Seva is Madhava Seva, then we say I'm working, I'm doing Manava Seva. I'm Manav, so I'm serving myself. That's Madhava Seva. I'm also God. So many wrong ideas they have. So envious people, they malinterpret Bhagavad-gita. We should not be misled by this. Krishna spoke Bhagavad-gita with a particular purpose in mind. That was to educate Arjuna, and through Arjuna, the whole world, what is the actual purpose of life and how to attain it. But persons who are envious of Krishna, they misinterpret. And people who are unfortunate, they listen to that. And those who are insincere, they become attracted. Oh yes, work is worship. Very good. So no need to do any worship, just work. And siddhya bhavati karmaja. By work I'll get lots of money, and this is Bhagavad-gita. This has got nothing to do with Bhagavad-gita. So we should understand very clearly. I saw this lecture was subtitled Work Ethics. So work ethics means you offer the result to Krishna. That's all. Otherwise your work is unethical. Whatever you may be doing. There's the dealers, they used to say, oh, we're doing so much good for human society, we're employing so many people. You cannot actually do any good unless you train people to worship Krishna. Simply employing, that's already there. If we didn't have this modern industrial society, then we wouldn't have any problem with unemployment. There was no problem of unemployment previously. It's all created by modern industrial society. Otherwise there was no such thing. There were Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, and everyone had their role to play. Everyone had something to do. So there was no question of unemployment. That is a modern not invented, but it's a result of the modern economic system. It's like you may be studying, you may be doing you may be doing your degree and this and that, but what happens is, at one point in India they made so many engineering colleges, and then they made so many engineers, and then so many people passed out of engineering college and no job. Because there are too many, they made too many engineers. And then even the engineering they were teaching, they wasn't keeping up with the demands of the market, so they were outdated. So this happens. You become expert in one field, and then this is very prominent in the modern age, especially in the computer industry, that you learn everything and then it's all outmoded and outdated. So you're constantly having to keep up with it. And even then it's no guarantee of any job. So many IIT graduates went to America, and so many of them are coming back because the market's down. That's the way it is. So there's no guarantee. Modern life, it simply creates anxiety. That now I have such a good job, I'm earning so much money, and then tomorrow you may be on a plane back to India. Of course, you may have better work prospects here. Someone's going unemployed for all your education. So this modern demoniac society, this is siddhya bhavati karmaja. This got nothing to do with the siddhi recommended in Bhagavad-gita. And even this siddhi, which Krishna condemns, that even is above that which is being recommended in modern society. But even that, Krishna, he's saying, this is not the all-in-all goal of life. That even by pious activities, if you worship the demigods, you may get some result. But that is not recommended, because it won't last. Whatever materialistic result you get, first of all, it won't give you any happiness. And the second thing is, it won't last anyway. So Krishna is stating all these points just to put everything in context, because in this material world, pretty much everyone is interested in material progress, so-called, whatever What is material progress? It's all a big illusion anyway, because whatever so-called progress you have to die. So what is your progress? Or you say human society is progressing, now we have so many facilities, but whatever facilities are there are at least counterbalanced by all the difficulties, the pollution and the disturbed. Society is so much disturbed, and individually everyone's mind is so much disturbed. For all their progress, the basic situation of human society is that people are fools and more foolish than before, because they're trained and programmed in foolishness by the TV. You see, they made this TV with all their technological advancement, and now they have this flat back TV and digital TV, and what are they watching on TV? Mickey Mouse. So what is the value of all the intelligence that goes to make all these things, and what are they watching? Just something which is inane. You know this word inane? It's similar to insane, but it has a different meaning. It means childlike foolishness, just empty foolishness. Or they're watching a cricket match or something, just completely, it's no brains. No, they're just stupid, that's all. They go, so much intelligence is invested in conveying foolishness to the masses and making them more and more foolish. People they don't even read nowadays, except they read some stupid magazine. But who's reading Bhagavad-gita or something of actual value? And they're watching TV and listening to and going to the cinema. And that also we see that even, I was just out at that atomic energy place, was that Kill Park or something? Huh? So we saw there they had the recreation fund, they're advertising the Tamil movies, the highly educated people, and they're still interested in going to these stupid movies. So it shows that actually that even though some intelligence is there and it's developed in one way, but actually the consciousness is not developed. Movies, it means sex and violence. And sometimes there's some kind of story holding it all together. So it means actually the consciousness, modern society, they train to develop the intelligence in a way that is useful for the businessmen to churn out more and more useless gadgets, or apparently useful, like a washing machine. But the level of consciousness that they are propagating. How is it that Mickey Mouse is an international multi-billion-dollar business? And what is Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck? It's just a ridiculous imagination. But it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And Pepsi-Cola, which is of no value whatsoever to human society. By the way, in Bombay at least, on Delhi, it's made with drain water. I happen to know. I have inside information. So, what is the value to humans? But they're another multi-billion-dollar business. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. So they have all this modern technological advancement. But actually, the net result is that people are becoming more foolish. That's all. People think, I'll work hard to get lots of money and then I'll spend it on what? Coca-Cola. So what is the value? It's just so it's so stupid, it's just ridiculous. And anyone who's got any real intelligence should understand this, that the whole modern life is simply a big bluff. It's a big fraud. That they talk about success. You'll be successful by working. Well, what is that success? You earn enough money to drive around in an air-conditioned car so you can go in the traffic. In the traffic jam, you don't directly get the auto fumes. Actually, it comes in just the same, but it's homogenized. You get homogenized pollution and poisoning. So you have this nice facility so you can drive to work. That's all. And you have a nice flat and an apartment, but you don't have time to go there, and then your wife is at home with some boyfriend and you don't know anything about it. This is modern life. You've made nice facilities for someone, some lazy bum, to come in and enjoy your wife. You don't know. Because you're never there. So this is, they're putting the advertisement, the motto, Siddhya Bhavati Karmaja. This is success. Join IIT, go to America, be a success. It's not Bhagavad-gita. Krishna in Bhagavad-gita condemns even the karma siddhi of the Vedic process, which is far elevated above this modern idea of success. But even that, Krishna said, they are misinterpreted. The Bhagavad-gita, if we want to understand, there are not that many people who want to understand, but there are some here and there who are actually interested seriously in understanding the real purpose of life. So that we have to hear from devotees in the parampara system who will explain all these things. Otherwise you'll get some cheater who will come along and say, yes, you see, Bhagavad-gita, sit here, Bhavati Kamaja, go to IIT, work like an ass, get lots of money, then buy the best TV in the market, and then your children can watch Mickey Mouse on TV. And this is the success of life. Your children who you don't know because you never have time to see them. Because you're working for them to earn lots of money for my children who you don't know. You hardly know. Hare Krishna. So work ethics. Work for Krishna. Don't work for sense gratification. Work for Krishna means, if you're going to work in the modern way of life, then if you're actually earning so much money and used for spreading Krishna consciousness, of course, maintaining family, all those things are there also, but can use for printing the books of Krishna, distributing prasad, building temples and all these things. And also, the persons around us, we should try to bring to Krishna consciousness also. Mostly, people in this modern corporate rat race, the last thing they're interested in is spiritual life. They don't have time for that. They're eating at work. They're sitting at the computer. They only stop to pass stool and urine, that's all. Otherwise, they're eating and sleeping at the computer. Even after they're eating and they don't wash their hands and they just go on. Eating is it's a necessary inconvenience, which they do while they're working. It's an inconvenience because they have to use one hand, so they can't use both hands on the computer, although their eyes remain completely fixed on the screen. They're not even looking at what they're eating. It doesn't matter what it tastes like, it's just something to fuel the body so I can go on with the important work of programming, project. So, usually they're not interested, but anyway, first of all I recommend don't get into such a way of life. It doesn't give you time to think about anything else except that anyway. It doesn't give you time for chanting Hare Krishna. Try to get some job which will be not this ugra karma or overly working. It should be time for the real necessities of life. Hearing and chanting about Krishna. What to speak of having time for your family. And so that's one thing. Another thing is that we should try to, in whatever way we can, it's not easy, but if we can influence others to be Krishna conscious, you can give books, Prabhupada's books, as to your workmates. If they say, look, we're not interested, they may even be scoffing. It may be different, there are different people. Some people are open and appreciative also. But anyway, of course you're mostly studying now, but when you do get out into the work field, if you do, then just some guidelines. You can give people Prabhupada's books, like The Science of Self-Realization. That word is science is there, that's more attractive to them. At least give them the book. And some, out of the money you earn, don't keep it all for yourself and your family. Give some for Krishna's service. I guess these are some guidelines. There's one very nice book Prabhupada wrote. Actually, even before he went to America, some essays he wrote, they're published now as Message of Godhead. It's a very nice book which it gives guidelines for working people of the modern age, how they can perform karma yoga linked with Krishna, how you can be Krishna conscious in your working life. So I recommend you all read that, and all of Prabhupada's books. If you're going to be earning plenty of money at some point in time, which I guess most of you are planning on doing, that's the idea of coming to IIT. So, Kangshanta, Karmanam says, everyone desires success in material life, so If you get some money, buy a set of Prabhupada books for yourself before you buy a washing machine. It's more important. It's more important to clean the heart. Not that your clothes should be dirty, but we should see what the necessities are. The real necessity of life is to know about Krishna. So you can get yourself a set of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the books. And if you like to get all these fancy things, CD player and 40 watts and all this, you don't need so many watts. It's only if you're crazy. But then get Prabhupada's lectures, listen to that. We don't mind. We're not saying don't have these things. Use it properly. That's all. Hare Krishna. Is there any question about this? Sorry if I offended anyone's sensibilities, but we should speak the truth, even though it may not be palatable. Hare Krishna. Any question about this? Nothing. You're all totally convinced. Material life stinks. Yes?
Demigod worshippers getting some result, whether that will remove their karma.
Demigod worshippers get results. Does it remove their karma? No. They accrue karma. Demigods can't free you from karmic reactions. Only Vishnu. Demigods can't do that. That you'll always find. Just like, for instance, I've just been reading that section of Bhagavatam that Muchukunda was a great king who was fighting for the Devatas. So after a long time, they told him he was from earth, but he was very powerful, so he's fighting to protect the Devatas from the Asuras. So after a long time of fighting, they asked that now you take from us any benediction that you want, except mukti, because that we cannot give. We ourselves are not mukt, so we cannot give. So you get some result some karmic result by worshipping the demigods or by working in the corporate world. You accrue karma. That's worshipping the demigods. If you're doing in a pious way, then you get punya karma, but it's still karma. And it's still binding in this material world. That should be understood. There is a great difference between demigod worship and Vishnu worship. Even Vishnu worship may be conducted in many ways similarly to demigod worship, those who worship Vishnu for material gain. So actual worship of Vishnu is transcendental worship, where one desires no material gain. Was it practiced all over the world? Sacrifices? It seems to be. We find that there are the Inca and Aztec civilizations in South America. They used to offer sacrifices. In Egypt, they would call the gods by different names. And all over the world there have been found deities of Ganesh and Vishnu and Shiva, but whenever they find these things, they just don't report it, or they find and they lose again, because they don't want you to know. But actually this demigod worship and Vishnu worship was all over the world. There are so many things, just like that book has come out, that forbidden archaeology. So many things are discovered, and then so many things. Anything which goes against the modern idea of evolution and all this, it's just either the thing which is discovered is forgotten, not publicized, or it's said, well, it's not very good evidence, and discounted. There are so many things. Bhanu Maharaj, one time he showed me a photo of a dinosaur. Photo of a dinosaur body that was on a crane in Japan. It had been caught in a fishing net in the sea. A body, not a skeleton. Body with flesh and everything of a fully sized dinosaur. So that was supposed to be taken to America for inspection, but got lost. It's a little thing like that, it's easy to lose, right? So it got lost, and then it was never heard of again. These things are going on. Last time I was in London, I was waiting at the airport. Someone came up and spoke to me and asked me where I was going. So I asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Zaire in Africa. What are you doing? I'm going dinosaur hunting. There are so many reports of dinosaurs being sighted. So he was doing, but they're not getting scientific funding because science doesn't fund such things. They just disbelieve in it, that's all. Once Prabhupada was asked, so many animals are extinct. He said, they're not extinct. It's just your propaganda. We don't care very much whether they're dinosaurs or not. It doesn't make any difference to our Krishna consciousness. We're just making the point that there are so many lies told in the name of science. Because there's a certain worldview they want to propagate about evolution, there's no God, everything just happened by chance. And to prop up this myth, they have to tell so many lies, and they say, and the Shastras, they're all just made up by different people, and they don't have it. All kinds of, nothing, not usually very spiritual. Well, there's all kinds of interest in meditation, yoga, kundali, shamanism, dinosaur, so many things. In other words, there are many intellectuals in the West especially who they don't subscribe to the standard establishment worldview. Not that they're all Krishna conscious, but they believe, or they believe in other things which are not taught at school and which are not allowed to be taught at school. Jai, Hare Krishna. Thank you for so kindly listening to me, even though what I say, Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat, the two things don't always go together. The truth is not always, Satyam is not always Priya. The truth, there's a saying in English, the cruel truth. So, what we like to hear and what is the fact, they're often different. So don't mind me saying all these things, because